Hey, this is Jeff, and we need to talk about privilege. Long story short, it doesn't exist. To be clear, discrimination exists, injustice exists, but the recent trend of using the word privilege in that context is a classic Orwellian exploitation of our vocabulary. It's intentional, malicious, and engineered to divide and oppress. Why? Because privileges are granted. Privileges can be revoked. Whereas life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are natural rights, and rights are intrinsic. They can't be granted or revoked by any individual, group, or document. The United States Constitution doesn't grant us any rights. It guarantees the state will respect certain rights we already inherently possess. The state hasn't always made good on that guarantee, but those rights are ours regardless. Free speech, due process, the opportunity to succeed or fail on our own merits, to reap the fair rewards of our labor, to not be discriminated against or judged based on race, gender, sexual identity, religion, or any factor other than our own objective contributions and achievements, and countless other freedoms, all derive logically from our natural rights. If I enjoy the full exercise of those freedoms and you don't, that's not a privilege I was granted. It's a right you were denied. When Big Brother calls your unfair treatment my privilege and you buy into that, we stand divided over the implication that we can only be made equal by taking some freedom away from me. That is a lie, which ultimately, inevitably, will lead to neither one of us having any freedoms at all. But if we call your unfair treatment what it actually is, a violation of your rights, we stand united. United in recognition that we can't be made equal because we are inherently equal. United in opposition to the lie that rights can be arbitrarily granted or revoked, and united to protect those rights by demanding justice. I always like to wrap up with a call to action, so what can you do? Beyond liking and sharing this video, of course. If you've been using the word privilege incorrectly, don't sweat it. You fell for the con, but you weren't alone. Now just stop and encourage your fellow exploitees to do the same. Ditto if you've been feeling ashamed of your freedoms because you've been told that's a privilege. Don't be embarrassed that your rights are being respected. Be outraged that other people's aren't. And if you always knew the usage was bogus but you couldn't quite put your finger on why, now you can. If you run into someone who hasn't seen through the scam yet, don't berate, educate. That said, there are those who truly love Big Brother and aspire to become members of the inner party. They seek to erode freedom by corrupting the language to sow discord among the rest of us, so they will very likely persist in misusing the word privilege and in demonizing anyone who opposes the lie implicit in that misuse. And that's okay, because it makes them easier to identify. As long as we're vigilant, their contempt for our rights will not prevail. And that's it for now, but we'll talk again soon.